Now, of course, we have to review the train that plays second banana to the N train, the Q train, of course. And of course, you guys know that it goes up to 2nd Avenue now. But again, like I said, this review is basically covering what I did from before. So once again, this is the review of the Q train.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Q train, the so-called best train of New York City Transit, even though I always think that's bullshit because the N train is usually the one to cover up for the Q's crap. Yes, the Q's crap. Now, as far as the C train is concerned, being the worst line of New York City Transit, I know for a fact that's bullshit. And to make it even worse, they're making it painfully obvious that they're trying to blame the 32s for this bullshit, which I know is not really true because 32s have nothing to do with this. If you're gonna blame a train, make it actually believable, but I know for a fact that this is bullshit. Anyway, this is the Q train. Now the Q train starts from Coney Island, as we all know. Coney Island, like the N train, it starts from Coney Island, it goes up Brighton, and then once it hits DeKalb, it goes over the Manhattan Bridge. After it goes over the Manhattan Bridge with the N train, the Q goes express on Broadway, and once it goes on Broadway, it's just a straight express shot all the way to 57th Street. Now, in terms of the route itself, as far as speed wise, yeah, the Q train, I know on Brighton it goes local. I don't know why, but every time when I hit Brighton, it's always freaking sunny. I don't know what's with that. Anyway, the Q train, on the other hand, has its moments. It has bad moments. Moments where it's unbelievable. Now, I'm talking about the construction on the Q train. Now, they've actually split the Q train up big time. And I mean big time. Where they only had the Q going from Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn all the way down to Coney Island, just on Brighton. No Manhattan service at all, and no Queens service at all. And no, I'm not saying no, the Q does not go from Astoria. That's a lie. That's a lie put in your face. The only time the Q ever goes to Astoria is during the rush hour, between the rush hour and weekdays and all that crap. You guys know what I mean. But anyway, besides that, the Q only goes from 57th Street down to Coney Island, and that's it. No other extensions, no nothing else. That's it. The Q is one of those lines where you have to guess when and where the next train is going to show up. For all we know, it could show up on the express or local track. Now, as I stated before, the Q goes to the same exact two terminals as the N during rush hour. Now, seeing as how this is going on, the Q and the N both share the same equipment, but it's nothing to bust your nuts over. It's just all 160s with the occasional R68 in the mix. But if an R32 pops up on a line, track it down! Track it down now! The reason why I say this is because there are no R32s at BMT at all. The only chance of that happening is on the R. But this is what I don't get. The R32s first ran in service on the Q, but yet they can't run on the two lines that they first started on? What kind of bullshit is that? The N being the second. Now, as far as the equipment goes for the Q, it's dull. Very dull. The most you can get is an R68, but even that has a rare chance of showing up. Now, the person who didn't want that R32 to stay in Coney Island Yard that ran on a B was having a serious dipshit moment. He failed to realize that the R32s performed well in Coney Island Yard than they did in 207th Street Yard. Here's the tip. Send them all back there! Okay, send some, but give some to the F, will you? My back hurts. Anyway, I heard that the Q ran at R46, but the people of Brighton complained about the train running over there. Seriously? Really? But I give you guys some credit for not bitching like the E-Riders. Now, taking it back a little, in 2007, there was an R32 that ran on the Q with a piece of loose leaf. Yeah, me and my uncle call it the paper Q. The paper Q stayed out at night most of the time, and it was pretty rare to catch during the day. But I do remember catching it with my uncle without even trying. The best part was that we knew exactly when it came out. Now, back in the day, the Q was orange running the 21st Street Queensbridge with the B, and going to Brighton Beach with the D. Yeah, the Q's original last stop was Brighton Beach. Then later on, the B ran to 145th Street in Manhattan and the Bronx with the D. And the Q came back over to Broadway like the little crying bitch he is, and now serves the Express. Seriously, where in the hell is the W in all of this? Oh yeah, it died from eating too many potato chips. You fat bastard, I told you eating Lay's will kill you. Now, back in the day, the Q had Q's, if that makes any sense. If it does, then I'll shut up. The QB, the quarterback, the QJ, and the QT. What? the fuck? Oh yeah, the T already existed back in the day. And spoiler alert, the T is gonna use tech trains as a return to the city. Most likely them damn R160s or R179s or whatever floats your boat. They're all shit anyway. Oh yeah, and spoiler alert, the R179 has a phase change. Now as far as the future for the Q, it's supposed to go to 125th Street with the T, making it more exciting. That's why the wall at Lexington 63rd on the F is coming down. That's the new platform for the Q. But I'll tell you right now, that station is gonna look freaky. Now, the Q does its job the way it needs to be done, but it's not the best train in transit. Strap hangers, shut up. Leave it to the professionals to do a review on the train. And if you're gonna review a train and rate it, then ride the train for 4 weeks time, day and night, to see the true results of a subway line, than just riding it for one day and assuming that the train is best or worse. Now, seeing as how the Q tries its best to stay on time and puts effort into keeping on or close to schedule, I'll give the Q line a 7.5 out of 10. The only downfall to the Q or all of Coney Island Yard is the equipment. If it ran all R160s during the day and ran SME equipment during the night, that being R32s and R68s, then the R160s can rest up and won't get a crap load of mileage. Of course, the R160s are packing a crap load of mileage now because they're being overran. But if they ran during the daytime only and SME equipment over the night, then no one will complain about it. That way they can get away with running old equipment at night. Besides, what passenger is going to complain over a train overnight? And if the crew complains, then oh well, they're getting paid anyway, so what's the point? So with that said, this is Knuckles of the Super Subway Brothers. You guys have a great night, and thank you for watching.